Luke, you said you bought at the bottom but didn't buy enough, and you answered it a little bit in your answer already. You don't necessarily think that was the bottom. You think there's a second leg. How do you think it plays out?
Well, again, I think part of the process we look at with momentum is it wasn't that we bought at the bottom, but we bought as things started to come back up. That's part of the point about momentum. I don't think it. I don't think we have a great ability to predict exactly whether we're going to meet new lows or not. But we've had a battle here between a massive injection of capital from governments and central banks offset against an incredible recession going on with, pick your number, but 22 million people unemployed, which has real consequences. And we've found some sort of equilibrium here in markets for now. I think the bit that would worry me is that it feels like the buyers are running out of steam. The buying is getting more and more concentrated into fewer names in the stock market. And, we're heading into the summer, and generally you see less buying in the summer. On the other side of that, the supply continues to be enormous, whether it's the Fed is going to issue record amounts of treasuries, whether it's we saw the biggest secondary ever last night. I think it was the biggest ever anyway. On BlackRock, we've seen companies issuing debt left, right, and center and are going to keep pushing the thing. And I think the worry is that you get into one of these summer swoons where, we've still got people issuing, we've still got that side of it, but we haven't got any buyers left.
Hey, Luke, you're going to hear from a lot of people that the Fed and the central banks, as you mentioned, it's all this money that they put in to support the markets that really prop things up. You will hear from all kinds of people, politicians in particular, saying that was a bad move, that it was helping Wall Street, that it was not helping Main Street. What would have happened if the Fed and the central banks hadn't done these programs to prop up the markets?
Look, we certainly would have ended up in a proper mess where we had a financial crisis to add on top of the economic crisis. I think they had to do something. They had to do things that were dramatic in order to stop it turning into a rout. But I do think there's a worry that it's turned into trying to stabilize individual parts of the market as opposed to stabilizing the system. That couple of days where the Treasury market ceased to function in any sensible way, the Fed had to come in and do something, because if you can't price treasuries properly, you can't price anything else properly. And that was obviously the beginning of a base put in. But I do think they need to be very careful of ending up in the place where maybe you could say the Bank of Japan has ended up, where they're constantly trying to pick almost individual securities to support.
So, what I read in everything you're saying, Luke, is do everything you need to do. You got to do it, but just prepare for the backlash because you're going to hear it. So I don't know whether that's fair. I guess it's just real. Anyway, we appreciate it. Yeah. And you've got 105. You got a lot of money under management, and you still not a gray hair on your head. I'm not really sure how that works. Anyway, thanks a lot. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Joe.
All right.
Thank you all.
See you later.